the design of this Batmobile is very different to the ones we've seen before. What was kind of the thinking behind its look and feel?
Well, this Batmobile, I mean, totally came out of Chris and Nathan Crowley's head. You know, when I first met Chris, we introduced each other and we had a long chat, and then he said, right, come next door, I want you to look at something. And between him and Nathan, they'd built this plastic model about 10 inches long, made from plastic bits of Airfix kits, cars, planes, Hummers, you name it. And he said, right, what do you think? That's what my Batmobile is. Can you build it? So of course I said, yeah, well, why not? Totally bluffing, but no, we knew, you know, we could achieve it.
What's kind of the top speed of it as well? How fast can it go?
Well, we geared it obviously for faster acceleration, but I mean, going through Lower Wacker Drive out in Chicago, we were topping 100 mile an hour. We had an ML55 camera car with a crane rotating around the top, which struggled to keep up with it. So we were very proud of that. I remember when they came back on Dark Knight Rises, they said, well, we've got you this time because we've supercharged our camera car. I said, well, tough, because we supercharged the Batmobile as well.
I think the Bat bike or the Bat pod detaches from it in the film. Is that something that's actually built into the car itself, or is that an extra special effect?
No, I mean, obviously the storyline to Dark Knight wasn't around when we built Batman Begins, so that actually, the old Bat pod came in with the script of Dark Knight. It was within the script from the beginning, and originally we were going to do it for real, but after a while, because Chris wasn't quite too sure how he wanted to manipulate it coming out, we decided to do it CGI, so they had more flexibility and not be tied into a set rig. So hence that little bit where you see it, the transformation was CGI, very clever.
Is there such thing as a typical day on set with Chris now as well? Does it change very much what the plans are?
A typical day is hectic. He's a director. If he's not shooting by 8 o'clock in the morning, wants to know why, which is in contrast to many directors. But he's a machine. Between him and Wally Pfister, the lighting cameraman, you gear up to keep up with him from the word go when you get on the film. But he does a lot of filming on day, gets a lot of value for money. But it's thrilling to work with. He's a real inspiration.
Obviously in Dark Knight Rises we see the Bat, which is air. We've got land covered as well. Did you ever sort of talk about doing sea? I think there's Bat boats in the comics and things like that. Is there?
You probably read some of my recent comments. No, I was heavily pushing for a Bat boat. Because I love working on the water. I thought it would have been a great Bat vehicle, but Chris felt that it wasn't big enough for the last in his trilogy, so he went for this 28 foot by 17 foot wide by 12 foot high flying machine, which initially I had reservations about, because I thought this is all going to be CGI, because I can't build a real flying thing like that. But when I got talking to him, I quickly learned that he wanted us to do as much as we could so that the CGI guys had a reality-based vehicle that then they could move forward and match. And we ended up building a special truck that the Bat would sit on that enabled it to go up and down, bank left and right. We also hung it on high wires between two cranes, so when you see it first come out the alleyway, that's on wires. We went to the extremes of, on a high-rise building in LA, we suspended it underneath a heavy lift helicopter, so we actually lifted it up and flew it across the building tops.
Is it quite refreshing to work with Chris? You mentioned the sort of whole practical side. I think he favours that much more over digital, so is it quite nice, because maybe you've worked on blockbusters which are kind of a sea of CGI and lots of things like that?
He likes to get in camera because he can see it straight away and he can analyse it. He uses, it's unfair on the CGI guys because they do a great job, and most of what they do is invisible, which is great from Chris's storyline point of view, but not great if you're a CGI guy wanting to showcase your craft. So I sympathise with them a lot, and they do a lot of work which makes my stuff look good. For example, we had this fairly large truck underneath the Bat going down the streets at 60 miles an hour, which they had to paint out with snow going on and all the explosions going off. So they did an extraordinary job and deserve some credit. There are so many things I'm proud of. I mean, the vehicles for one, the Batmobile, the Batpod, the Bat, they were all, wonderful to work with. And I have a great, genius bunch of team making them. But there were highlights. I know that hospital explosion with, Heath Ledger in the bus going past, the truck flip. There's many, too many to pin down to one.